All right, project time. I'm going to do load calculations for this 52,000 square foot commercial office building, starting totally from scratch. So you'll get to see every step that I take in the process and just get to walk through it with me. So I got this project, got a set of drawings here, architectural set, 43 pages. It's going to give me a lot of good info. Here's the cover sheet. I'm really looking for the floor plans, and so we've got floor plans broken up into sections A and B. So I'm going to be piecing that together in HVAKR, and this is what I'm looking for here. This is going to be important set of elevation drawings so I can see the windows and get really precise calculations for all my window loads. Gives me my elevations as well, 12 foot 10 slab to slab. Looks like 14 foot 4 for the top floor. That's all going to be great. So let's get this project set up in HVAKR. I'm going to go to my account and I'm going to create a new project. So this project name is 1897 Lakewood Road. It's in Toms River, New Jersey. So let's get that in there, 1897 Lakewood Road, and that is the address, Road, Toms River, New Jersey. Perfect. Now I'm going to start from a template just to pre-populate a lot of this information. So space type templates, I've got some options here. 62.1 office buildings is going to give me a lot of good space types right off the bat. And then my envelope template, it's going to be non-residential, but what is the climate zone? So I'm not familiar with New Jersey. I'm going to look this up. What you'll want to do is just Google ASHRAE climatic data PDF, and the very first hit there is going to download this PDF. Pop that open. This is what you'll see. On page 6, you'll see a map of the country, and you can use this to determine what climate zone you're in. So Toms River, New Jersey is like right here. That's going to be brown, climate zone 4A. So I'm in climate zone 4. By the way, another way to find your climate zone, you can go to these tables and you can look for your county in these tables here. So a quick search. Toms River is in Ocean County, so I could quickly search this PDF for that county name. There is Ocean County 4A. There you go. There's another table that just shows you all the counties and their climate zone. So this is helpful too if you go towards page like 172. So New Jersey, Ocean, climate zone 4A. Perfect. So non-residential, climate zone 4. That's going to bring in my minimum envelope requirements, and I'll hit create. So it takes me in on the general page. There's not really anything I need to do here, but this is where I could populate things like project number, the relevant contacts on the project, deadlines, codes and standards. I could even put in a nice little picture of my project. In fact, let's just do that. Hey, now we're talking. This will look nice. It's going to show up on the reports too when I print out my loads report. So nice touch. Next, I'm going to check my weather data here. It's going to automatically select the nearest weather station, and I can just glance at my design percentages, make sure these all look good. I can adjust these as needed, and you'll notice the design percentages go down if I have a more lenient percentage, and they'll go up if I have a stricter design percentage. So I'm going to stick with the more conservative 0.4 and 99.6. Can always change that later with just a click. So I'm good on weather data. When I go to my building data, I'm going to see some of these tables pre-populated from that template that I brought in. But now I'm going to look at the drawings again and see if there's better information on my wall data, U values, on the window data that are being specified, and then I'll actually refine these and use the actual values based on that. The other thing is I'm going to check the plan rotation. So if true north is not equal to plan north, I'm going to correct for that here. So let's take a look at these plans again. Okay, so this is nice. They actually have the envelope compliance certificate included here. So this actually gives me information about, see, walls, windows. Looks like my windows here are going to have a solar heat gain coefficient of 0.25, proposed U factor of 0.28, and they also have a budget U factor here of 0.36. The wall area is going to be wood framed. U factor of 0.064. So I'm gonna first go back and actually put in those walls and windows and use the actual values shown here in the drawings for that. So let's just put this off to the side so it's easy to check. And then come back over here. All right, so my wall type, my wood framed, yes, that's going to be about right here. My U value though is 0.064. Perfect. Okay, they're going with the minimum there. Now, I need to remember that I'm using my wood framed wall. I have all these other options. I can just delete these if I want to clean it up. I'll leave them for now, but I'm going to know that when I define my walls, I'm going with this one, wood framed. Now, window type, I got operable entrance doors that are glazed and then fixed windows. So my fixed windows right here, soil heat gain coefficient of 0.25 and proposed U factor of 0.280. So, and then the budget is the minimum there, 0.360. So that matches that. I could design for the proposed. I could design for the budget. If I design for the budget, it's going to give me kind of my worst case scenario. So it's really up to the engineer and the designer if they want to make this correction later. It's a pretty easy correction to make, so I'm going to stick with the proposed first, and then I'll be able to change that later and compare the two, see if it actually makes a difference. But let's get this in here, 0.280. And then my solar heat gain coefficient, what did I say? 0.25. So I'm actually going to first try and find a window composition that's already close to what they're doing here. It doesn't give me a lot of information over here about the actual construction of it. Perforated, vinyl frame. I don't have a ton, but I know it's 0.25, and that's really what's going to drive this. So let's find one that is close to a 0.25. It's 0.24. Let's see here, 0.25. I'll start with this, and then adjust this to 0.25. So just like with walls, I have other options, but mental note, I'm going to be using fixed windows for all of these. Now, the roof type, it looks like here we have attic roof, wood joists. So attic roof, I'll use that, but let's just adjust it according to what's listed. Proposed U factor of 0.023, budget of 0.021. So there's my budget of 0.021. Again, I'm going to stick with the proposed for now and adjust it accordingly. So there's that. And then slab does not give me information on that, but I think it's safe to assume this is not a heated slab, so I'll be using the unheated slab with just the code minimum there for the F factor. By the way, if you don't know what any of these inputs mean, check out these little library books. It's going to explain it for you and also give you some good reference tables so you can make your selections accordingly. So envelope construction is set. Remember, I'm going to be using wood framed walls with my fixed windows, attic type roof, and then a unheated slab. All right, let's look at space criteria. So now I've got some basic space types here for my office building. This is brought in from the ASHRAE 62.1 office category, but I can tell you this is not going to be all of the space types that I need. So I'm going to take another look at the plans here and just get a feel for what kinds of spaces are present in these drawings. So conference rooms, yes. Offices, for sure. Restrooms, those were not in my list. I'm going to need to add restrooms, janitor rooms, IT room there I can account for. There's going to be these common corridors, so I'll need to include that. Fortunately, this is mostly office, so that is not too bad. There's a little break room here, pantry area. I'll treat that as a break room. Nursing, aka lactation station. That'll be good to include. What else do we have? These all look the same as the floor below. There's a lounge. All right, I'll add that. Kind of a large break room type space. Pantry. Let's look at the, let's see, that's top floor. Double check the bottom floor here. Okay, we got a cafe. Nice. So potentially a kitchen there. The lobby, of course. That's going to be unconditioned sprinkler room. Let's check this last area. Conference, electrical, reception. Okay, great. So let's add some more space types here. We've got break room, office, storage area, reception, lobbies, but we're missing a few. So I'm going to import and bring in some additional space types by scrolling through the other categories and finding what I need. I'm going to check general. That might have something like my conference rooms, my corridors. Wonderful. What else? What does miscellaneous have here? Nothing that I need. Exhausted spaces. This is where I'm going to get my janitor room. And this is where I'm going to get a kitchenette. I'll also get toilets, public, continuous operation. That cafe, there's likely going to want some exhaust in that space. I'm not sure the extent of the usage of that cafe. To be safe, I'm going to treat this kind of like a residential kitchen here. This would be different from, say, let's go to, where's my food and beverage? This is going to have cafeteria and more of a commercial cooking kitchen. That's not really what I'm going for, which is why I'm just going to use residential kitchen. Kitchenette might even be good for that space. But the last space I'm looking for would be that lactation station, which I can tell you right now, that is not in the ASHRAE building categories. So I might just make that on my own, really treat it like an office pretty much. It's going to be similar in terms of somebody goes in there, sits, you need that much ventilation. So I'll treat that as an office space. So those were selected, those 5 extra spaces. I'm going to bring those in. And now I have a more complete list here of space types. So now I'm going to go through these space types and make sure that my entry points look good. 72 is a generous set point. I'm going to glance real quick at the drawings to see if there is any information about the required set point. I don't believe they've specified exactly what set point, so I'm going to stick with 72 degrees for cooling, 68 degrees for heating, and again, these are easy to change later if I need to. Ventilation requirements, what's nice is this already populates my required outdoor air rate based on the ASHRAE 62.1 requirements. So office space here, 5 CFM per person, 0.06 CFM per square foot. I can check this as well. This will open up that table if I need to reference ASHRAE 62.1 with a click, and then I can confirm, hey, office space 5 and 0.06. Very good. So I'm feeling pretty good about all these numbers in here. Exhaust requirements, I'll check real quick. Janitor will have 1 CFM per square foot of exhaust. My residential kitchen has 50 CFM per unit, so we'll have to specify like how many units we want to account for. And that basically represents like a cooking range. And in this case, I didn't even see a countertop or a range in there. I'm just going to account for a little bit of exhaust in that space in case there's microwaves, people are cooking food, you've got stuff in there, you just kind of want to get the air out. So I'll probably account for maybe 2 units, 100 CFM of exhaust for that space. This is just a little mental note. And then continuous operation toilets, 50 CFM per toilet, basically. So as I create these spaces, I will tell it how many toilets are going to be in that room, and it'll calculate my exhaust accordingly. Lastly, I'm going to take a look at my interior loads. This will give me the ASHRAE values for people density, people loads, lighting loads, plug loads, and these look pretty good to me. I'm not going to mess with the lighting load to ceiling space percent. I'm going to just bring all the load into this space. It's a more conservative load calc, and it's just going to presume that the space is going to be handling 100% of the lighting load. I'm not aware of what kinds of lights are present here, if they're recessed or what. So this is a safe bet. If I find out later that the lights are recessed and maybe only 50% of the load is going to the space, I could put that in here, update that pretty easily. Usage schedule, I'll keep it at 24/7. That's not going to affect my loads too much. Probably not at all, because this is a peak load calculation. And then I don't need to input sound criteria for the calculation I'm doing. But this would basically complete the basis of design. If I wanted to put in information about design in C for these space types, I could put that in there, and then when I print my basis of design, it's going to give me all these tables in a nice 8.5 by 11 format. You'll have all this information provided. It'll look great. So for now though, I'm leaving that off, and I go to system criteria. I'm actually going to skip this. I don't have the exact information for what kind of system we're doing here. I'm going to start with just load calcs, and I can come in later and add ductwork if I want to take this to the duct design step. But we're not going that far as of yet. Okay, sheet library. This is where the fun begins. I get to bring in that PDF and bring in the sheets that I want to work on top of and go from there. So let's get this in. I'm going to upload a new sheet. I'll call this, let's see, what's the name of this? From May 1st, 2024. Are they calling this set anything in particular? Liquid road set from May 1st, 2024. Okay. 1897 Lakewood Road. This just helps me keep track of the sets that I bring in. So this is from May 1st. Cool. If I bring in a revised set later, this will just help keep track of the names and the dates they were created, so I know which one I'm pulling from. I only have one set for now, so there shouldn't be any confusion. Now I'm going to grab that file. There it is, the 43 pages. Open that, and I'm going to hit upload. And now it's going to churn. It's going to upload that 43-page PDF, and I'll see all those pages populate in a moment. But for you, I'm just going to fast forward ahead. All right, there we go. All of those pages have been uploaded and separated out into sheets. And now I just go through and identify the sheets that I want to actually bring into my project here. A101. No, that is not the one. I want the section views. So here we go. A110. So I want that one. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want those sheets for sure. And I'm also going to bring in my elevation drawing here because I like having that in the plans. I don't have to go back and forth looking at the PDF all the time. So we'll bring in that, and then we'll bring in these 6 plans here. All right, I want those sheets. So now I'm going to hit import sheets. That's going to actually bring in the 7 that I selected. And there we go. They are now imported. And I can move to my next step, which is layout. So now I've got my canvas here, and I'm going to create the backdrop for which I'll do the rest of my work. I'm on level 1 right now. I can go up and down levels like this. I'll start with level 1, and I'm going to bring in this first sheet. Now I need to select the scale that this sheet is drawn to. I should have checked that first. Let's do that right now. This is a 3/16 inch to 1 foot scale. So here I select 3/16, and I'm going to place it on the canvas. Beautiful, look at that. Okay, that's only 1/2 though. So off to the side, here's the next sheet for level 1, 3/16. I'm gonna place that on the canvas. And I'm gonna actually drag it off to the side for now. Those are my level 1 sheets. Let's get level 2 in there. Okay, awesome. And then the last one, this elevation drawing. Let's check the scale on that too. 332. Okay, cool. 332. Nice scale. Do we have 332? We do. Beautiful. So I'm going to place that on there, and I'm actually just going to throw it like way up here just so I can reference it as needed. But really I'm going to be working on top of this. So now let's clean this up a little bit so we have one continuous plan that we're working off of. And the way that we would do that is crop and lock. So if you right click on a sheet, you can crop it. And I'm going to take this down to the dividing line there, clearly delineated, which is nice. Also tighten this up a little bit and hit go. And I'm going to lock that. So this next one, I'll bring in here. I'll crop this as well. By the way, to zoom in and out, hold the control key on your keyboard and scroll like this. Scrolling without that is going to take you like this. If you hold control, it's an easy way to zoom in and out. All right, with that said, let's crop this down as well to right there. And cut that back. Don't need to see the title block. Okay, so now I can piece these together and make one nice overall view of my floor and lock that. So boom, now I'm looking at the whole thing at once. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for level 2 and level 3 and fast forward for you guys so you don't have to sit through all this. Okay, there we go. Now I've pieced this together, looking at level 3, level 2, and level 1. Beautiful. Okay, the canvas is set. It's time to begin my space takeoff.